can't Africa have similar or same? So when you have terrible, terrible people, who knows that they can always run to America, run to Europe for medical care, and you're always there to welcome them because you can always use the compromise on them to milk us. It's unfair. That's the point. It's not that we are actually putting all of our blames, our shortcomings on the Western world, not like that. But we can also not ignore the fact that it's easier for these criminal leaders in Africa to fly out of the Africa and fly to this supposed Western world with the baggage of these human rights abuses, corruption and all that. And yet they are still welcomed, right? But people like us will be scrutinized even up to our asses to see if we have any criminal record or not before they can give us their visa. Why real criminals, human rights abusers, those who are killing their people are called leaders and they are welcomed in their palaces, in their government buildings all over the world. It's unfair. Yeah. Hello.
One name,
Osita.
one need the number.
Baba, how are you? You hope
Continue to praise God,
bless
and
you.
we'll continue to thank God that each and every one of us is a voice to the voiceless.
God bless you, man.
You know, um, most of the time when we talk about what is happening in Africa, Nigeria, and Africa at large, most of the times we just think it is all about our making. But when somebody wants to lord over you, or when somebody wants to penetrate your family, he goes to the weakest link and uh, uh, eh, make that weakest link strong. And you will think that that person, what the person is trying to build, the person is trying to build your family, but you don't know there's a hidden agenda. So, and that agenda is to keep us down in Africa. Most of the times, it's just that we have to talk about Nigeria because it is the contraption where we come from.
It is.
But it is Africa at large. They will tell you the richest country in the world that is supposed to be the richest country, no country, is Congo.
Yes.
It's Congo. But they'll tell you that they are the richest, yet they are the poorest. Who made them poor? Who made them the way they are? Those are the questions you ask. And the answer is that it is their corporation that makes this African continent, that Congo, the poorest nation in the world. If people don't understand one particular thing, in the West, it is the multinational companies, the conglomerates, that actually mix up the government, how the international relationship that their government and the other people they have.
You are right.
They play a greater role.
They are the ones who
because
actually tell their own country or the government of their own home country who to relate with and how.
Yes.
They are those who form, all these countries actually form their foreign policies based on their supposed corporations operating in Africa.
Corporations. Exactly. So when people don't understand this, you will just think, oh, that it is one Biden, it's one Obama, it's one Trump that is causing all this whole problem.
No.
There is no multinational company in the West that is not attached to the CIA.
Yes.
That is not attached to the CIA. The CIA actually works for them. The military warheads that you see in Western world are actually being sponsored by who? It is still the multinational companies. So when we come to understand this, that relationship is all about business. No relationship comes with love. It comes with only business. What I can achieve, what I can about interest, what I can get from you.
That's it.
And I have said it times without number here. that in Africa, we were thinking, we were thinking that the liberation of Africa will come from Nigeria. That is the general thinking of every African person. But we are sorry.
Keep saying that once Nigeria gets it right, Africa will get it right.
Yeah. But
wow.
The truth is that it is never going to be Nigeria.
Mm.
It is going to be difficult. It is for those countries, but with self-determination, truth, and values of their identity, they are the ones that are going to liberate Africa. Other African nations will learn from those countries, and that is the Burkina Faso, the Mali, and the Niger Republic. It comes to education. Look at what they have done. It's a manuscript. I know where they got it from. It is the Chinese. In the sense that today we quantify or qualify who is educated based on if that person can actually speak and read English language, read and write in English language. But we forgot our own local dialects. Look at what the Chinese did. They are higher in education. Even in America here, they will tell you that the Mongolians, they are the most educated people in America today, which is the people that come from that particular end. But in all of that, when you go to the best universities in China, I mean, you go to the universities in China, the schools in China, they use Chinese language to teach them physics, chemistry, mathematics, and every other this thing. But in Africa, where does it happen? In Africa,
English,
yeah,
pretty much the two.
Yeah. In Africa, the most spoken language is the Swahili language. We do not even have, we do not even have a textbook with Swahili language on physics, on chemistry, mathematics, on anything. So, how do we think we can face this challenge? I listened to Fela's music. His songs were inspirational to tell you of what your identity is. Teacher, no be lecturer be your name. All those things, if you sit down and think about it, you will find out that that man was wholesomely correct in everything that he talked about the relationship between the West and the African. You go to our atlas today, to the atlas they have, they try to tell you there was a time in my life, years ago, that I used to come out and I'll say, oh, America is as big as Africa. They make that African continent look so tiny. Mm-hmm. They make it look so tiny so that they can put you down and say, oh, that America is as big as, not even the USSR that is as big as Africa. Africa is almost twice the size of Canada. So all these things, they do it to disadvantage us. Like you said, that is called neo-colonialism. That is what we are fighting. And that one is even worse than the slave era. Because in the slave era, you'll be flogged. You'll be beaten. Then you will understand that this person doesn't like you. But in this era, they will pretend as if they like you. They will pretend that they are next to God for you. Then at the end of the day, you lose your identity. Democracy has not worked in any place, not even in America. It has not worked the way they say it works. That thing they called democracy, and you can never improve any society with capitalism. The reason they had capitalism is because most of the Western world, they have nothing to give. That is the reason they have capitalism. But when a society has something to give, that means it must be socialist system that is going to work for you. So they now destroyed everything that has to do with our own identity. that even people will steal money that they borrowed for the
and return it back
betterment
to them,
of their,
and they will welcome
and
them.
return it back to them. There was a movie I watched, and that movie, I can't really remember the name, but that movie, in that movie, they said everything you see, most of their movies, believe me, 75% are true.
Hmm.
They, in that movie, they said they were giving grants to African nation, and they gave grants to that nation. At the end of the day, they were supposed to give about 1.2 billion dollars. But did you know how much they actually gave?
How much?
What they actually gave was $200 million. But it has been written that they gave you $1.2 billion. That it is 200. When the president of the African nation asked them, but this is, he said, is he going to take it or is he not going to take it? Because it's already out there that they've given you that loan. So you see, so this is where we are.
It's a shame, man.
It is not all about Tinubu,
Not just him.
not just him. It's not all about different head of states in Africa, but it is all about we ourselves as individuals. What do we want to really be? Do we want to continue this way? That is the reason you saw those three beautiful countries. I call them beautiful countries because some people came up. Whatever way they hijack the power is none of my business, but they are willing to go through the sufferings so that they can be somebody out there.
Stand on their feet.
I used to tell somebody, I told one of my friends yesterday, I said, even for the fact that, yes, we know we don't like the military because the military too is like them. But there was something about Abacha's regime. That regime doesn't have any good relationship with the West.
Full of
But can we
sanctions left,
come?
right, and center. But he was able to
Yes,
keep the exchange rate of Nigeria same, except what
that
and
that
for
is the
years.
question. That is the question I keep asking everybody. How did he do it?
How?
How?
I mean, yeah, people actually were, it wasn't easy. Even right now, it's not easy too. It's worse now. That's why the fact that we have all these guys now hovering over Nigeria and all that, right?
So
What's the
you
difference
see
now?
this thing? Yes, you see this style of this thing they created that we embraced in Africa. They call democracy. They really the reason that they actually created this thing and want to impose it all over the world, but it is not all over the world. It's not meant for all over the world, like you said. In the Middle East, they did not impose it.
You said
They
there. Yeah.
did it. They did it to divide Africa the more because they know, according to Harry Kissinger, in one of his memos, he said that is hidden from every other person. He said that they did a mistake to allow the Asians, which is the Chinese, they did a mistake to allow them to escape. That they must never, he didn't use they will never, he said they must never allow Africa to escape because if Africa escaped, the whole world will go on hunger strike.
And it's actually
Meaning,
them that will go on hunger strike, not the whole world. But they love to use the word the whole world.
yes,
Because
that's
if
yeah,
it
they love
happens
to
to
use the
them,
whole world.
it will affect the whole world. Come on.
Yes, that's what they use. So he said he made that statement, and that statement is what they have already worked on, and they are working on it. Anytime, especially Nigeria wants to have an election, they will come up one way or the other. They will have to back up anybody they support.
Yeah.
Tell me, go and look at it. They have
Is what they will
compromise.
support. The worst.
Yes, the worst. They have a compromise on that person. Dr. Agbede is somebody I really love and respect. But like you asked him, it is too late. They cannot release anything. Mark my word, they are not going to.
Nothing is really going to change anything anymore. But
Nothing is going to.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much, my brother, and God bless.
You have a good one, sir. That's Osita, ladies and gentlemen. Our time is rounding up, and see, I've got this boil over my face that it is so kind of sometimes it stresses me, right? It gives me some little migraine, and I think it's about to burst. So my doctors, right, they schedule a bit of an operation that they want to carry out right there, okay? But now I'm feeling a little bit of a migraine. So I'm going to wrap it up now so that I can possibly recover before evening, okay? So thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, I don't think this is going to wait for the operation. They schedule one for me for next week, right? Cosmetic operation. They call it cosmetic. It's crazy, right? But now I'm feeling a little bit of a tingling migraine. So hopefully, probably it's going to bust before then. Then they can clear the rest afterward. So let me go get some rest. I will see you all later this evening, okay? Thank you so much. And you all have a good afternoon, everyone.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ̀bẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì.